Hi, this is Christine from The Ordinary Sacred, and this is the final video in the series on healing trauma. And I'm really excited because today I'm going to introduce to you a visualization technique that has been really healing for me. And I'm just going to get right to it. Back here, let me show you. I wanted to show you this because this technique is very similar to an inner child technique that I learned from the holistic psychologist, but I did it with my child self. And what I found personally is that while I had a few instances of trauma in my childhood, most of my trauma was when I was an adult in my first marriage and beyond. And so I wanted to be able to use this technique for any time in my life when I experienced trauma. So this is trauma healing. And you can see in this picture that I am doing the visualization, but there are two me's, or if you do it, two you's, in the visualization. There's going to be your current self and your former self, which may be a child or may be an adult. And this technique really feels a lot like time travel. You're going back to this memory and you are entering into it. It can feel like a waking dream in the sense that it's actually kind of, you're awake, so you're intentionally moving through it, you're aware. But it's like a dream in that it's kind of happening to you also, okay? And the great thing is that you're actually changing a traumatic memory in your brain to make it more of a healing and hopeful memory. So this is different than talk therapy where you go and you repeat a memory and you go back into it and you're re-triggered and re-traumatized. You're actually going to go into this traumatic memory to offer yourself hope and healing and change the memory. Okay, I wanted to give a quick disclaimer. So you know how in colleges when they have prerequisite courses, like before you take abnormal psych, you have to take general psych, right? So I would say that this is kind of a second level technique in that foundationally, you want to already know how to offer self-compassion to your current self. Because if you can't offer it to your current self, you're not going to be able to go back in your memory and offer it to your former self. So you want to get really clear on that. Know how to practice self-soothing, self-comforting, self-strengthening when you feel overwhelmed, when you go into shame spirals, when you feel angry or fearful, right? And so I would recommend, if you don't feel confident in offering that comfort and compassion to your current self, go look at Kristen Neff's work on self-compassion, look up videos, look at self-soothing, and really practice that. Practice giving yourself empathy and understanding. And once you feel pretty confident that you know somewhatly how to do that with your current self, then you can do this technique with your former self, and it's revolutionary. So the first step is induction, which I went over in the video on shadow work. Basically, you're going to sit somewhere where you're comfortable and relaxed, where there's few distractions. You're going to take a few deep breaths, relax your body. And induction is that you imagine that the room is filling with water, and it's very gradual. It goes over your toes, your feet, your shins, your thighs, up your lap, and then until it gets over your head and fills the room. This can take 5 to 10 minutes. If you feel claustrophobic with that, you can just picture it, the space that your different body parts take up in the larger space, just gradually move up again. And this is helping your brain be more relaxed so that you can access subconscious kind of memories. It's kind of like a dream state, but again, you're fully in control. And once you are able to do that and you're relaxed, you're going to set your intention to find your former self and offer comfort and strength. So before you go into this visualization, you've probably chosen a specific traumatic memory that you're going to go into. So you already know where you're going. You're just setting your intention that you're going to go to your former self. Okay? Then you're going to imagine the specific place and time. You're going to take in the scene and kind of go with the flow. Okay, so for example, one of the first ones I did, I went into a hospital where I was when I was 4 years old. I walked in the front door, in the glass doors. There was a waiting room. I saw my mom and sister there, and my mom was upset and was crying, and I really wanted to go to her, but I knew that my intention was I'm going to my former self. So I went into the room where my 4-year-old self was on a table screaming, and saw like 10 different hospital staff around her with needles and various things. And I knew this is what I'm coming for. I actually came back in a different visualization and talked with my mom. And it was very, very eye-opening and enlightening. But, and offered my mom comfort. But in this one, I went to offer my former self comfort. So again, here you find your former self, and then you offer physical comfort or compassionate presence, and you may offer words of strength, such as, I know for certain that you will get through this, or you are not alone, I am here with you. So what's happening there is that you're not changing the traumatic memory. You're not changing what happens because what happened, right? It's not imagination so much as you are now inserting yourself into the memory, and you are now not alone. Now you are providing a presence of comfort and strength for your former self. And you are confidently able to tell your former self, you will get through this, because you know that they will, because you are them. And you know exactly how your former self feels, so you are the most equipped to offer them strength and comfort and validation and just your presence. So now that when you go back and you remember this memory, it's no longer you alone in this helpless state. You have an ally, a person of strength standing with you as you remember this. So that's where the healing comes. Finally, when you're done, please give yourself time to rest and recuperate because it can be very draining. And optionally, you can write about the experience or tell someone safe just to help you process the experience and solidify it more into your memory, so that when you get triggered with that memory again, now you have a positive experience. I have written about several of these visualizations that I've done. I may post them up on my website just so you can see some examples if you're not quite sure how to do this. But it is a truly amazing, healing and invigorating exercise. So if you have any questions, please reach out to me. And if you have any questions about any of the healing techniques, DM me, email me, contact me through my website. You can also find the free PDF on all of these videos at my website, theordinarysacred.com. Thanks so much for watching.